Thursday, June 6th, headed out to Yosemite National Park to start the John Muir Trail. So here I am in Merced, waiting for the Yosemite bus to come pick us up over at Amtrak station. Just got off the train. I'm hoping we get there in time to get my permit. I just called and put a hold on it, but hopefully somebody doesn't pick it up by accident. I'm kind of concerned because my resupply package hasn't been picked up yet over at Lakeshore Post Office, which is where Muir Trail Ranch resupply service picks it up from. It's supposed to be there Monday. It's Thursday morning and still apparently hasn't been scanned since Los Angeles. For whatever reason, they have to send all their mail to Los Angeles, and when it goes north to Fresno, it goes from Bakersfield to Los Angeles, and then from Los Angeles to Fresno, then to Huntington Lake, and wherever from there. So hopefully they can get that straightened out, and I can get my food. If not, I'll be either searching the hiker buckets, which I don't expect to be full this early in the season, since they only open like 2 days before I get there, or I walk over to Vermilion Valley Resort, which is about a day and a half away on foot, to get to resupply myself, essentially buy a bunch of stuff, probably at ridiculously overpriced overpriced stuff, and finish the rest of my trip. So we'll see what happens. My lovely wife at home is trying to put a search on my package right now as we speak, so hopefully they find it and get it there in time. We'll see. Alright, I'm gonna go wait for the bus. Hello, so I got my hiking gear on here, and I'm over here at Yosemite Valley's little eating area at Curry Village. Yeah, don't make fun of me, sorry, this looks really attractive, but keeps the sun off the back of my neck, don't have to worry about as much sunscreen. So anyhow, I'm over here at Yosemite Valley's Curry Village pizza area, so it's always good to get a good meal before you're going to be eating crap on the trail for like, who knows, 2 weeks, whatever it is. So still no word on the missing resupply package. I've been calling everybody, talking to the post office, and post office is less than helpful. But anyhow, I'm over here at Curry Village, and did some things online and sent some emails to Muir Trail Ranch, so hopefully they keep a lookout for my package. If not, they're going to email me by a certain date, and I'm going to make an unplanned stop at Vermilion Valley Resort, so hopefully I can go resupply myself from there. And God, this hat's ugly. Anyhow, hope for the best, and I will try to resupply myself if the package doesn't show up by a certain date. And it'll be expensive, but at least I'll be able to continue my trip. And if the package does show up somewhere, I can take another trip later on in the summer somewhere, and for a week or so, and we'll see what happens. So we'll hope for the best. I'm gonna start hiking here in about an hour or so, and lovely wife Emily's working on this as well, and seems like every time I go on one of these trips, she's always there as a logistic support, if it's rides home or mailing care packages or whatever. So anyhow, I love you, Emily. I know I'm a pain in the ass and you're a pain in the ass, but when things need to be done, we work pretty good together as a team. So hey there, just talking to another fellow hiker, and apparently snow full coverage is above 9,500 feet right now, and
which is interesting because average elevation on the JMT is about 10,000 or so. So there should be quite a bit of snow. We'll see how this is going to pan itself out here. That will definitely prove challenging and difficult, and it'll kind of change up my plans for the trip. So I'll have to hit the heavy snow areas really early in the morning, like before 10 a.m. and hopefully get down to the lower elevations after that where there's no snow. Otherwise, after 10 a.m. it starts melting out, and you what's called post hole, where you walk and you cave in waist deep or so in the snow, and there's chances you can twist ankles and injure yourself or just really slow yourself down. So I'm hoping some of these reports are a little biased from some of these guys coming from the other areas. JMT and the PCT are pretty well traveled paths, so I'm hoping that those pretty good boot marks by now from the PCTers coming from the south. So we should have some pretty good hiking. I'm not afraid of snow. I actually like the snow. It's kind of cool to see in the middle of summer, but at the same time it just slows you down. So we'll see. We'll hope for the best. I'm nice and not sunburned now, but if the snow's as prevalent as they say it is, then you're gonna see a very red face here in a few days. Alright, about 30 minutes I'm headed out here, so we will get to Little Yosemite Valley tonight, which is like a little campground area. It's kind of a zoo there. There's a lot of people that are planning on hiking Half Dome the next day, and JMTers and people going up to Merced Lake and things like that. So it's not really an optimal place to camp. I prefer camping out in the middle of nowhere where there's nobody there besides me and somebody else about 6 miles away. But unfortunately my permit only allows me to go this far tonight. So it's only 4.5 miles, so it's a good little way to break yourself in and get acclimatized and get into the groove. I haven't been hiking in like, this has been about 3 years now, so I'm getting older and fatter and out of shape. I haven't really worked out at all since a few years ago when I hurt my back, so I'm hoping that I can fall back into it fairly quickly here. With that snow there though, it's going to definitely prove challenging, so we'll hope it's not as bad as they say it is. So it's like a half a mile from Curry Village, where I was just eating, and to the John Muir Trail trailhead. I took the shuttle. Figure, you know what, I'm gonna walk 220 miles or whatever it is, and might as well cut a half a mile off that. Yeah, I know, I'm lazy. My wife will tell you all about that. This way. Alrighty, here I am about 3:30 p.m. on June 7th, 2018, starting the John Muir Trail. Here is the official trailhead sign. You see down there, it's about 211 miles.
That was so scary.
Of course, that doesn't include the trip down the backside of Whitney, so it's about 218.5 miles total. Here I go. Okay, it's all back-ass words, but here's me and the damn sign. What's this? Paved trail? Got these people coming down from the falls.
see too much paved trails after a couple miles here. We've got 2 weeks of dirt and rocks. Moving along after the afternoon food and beverages. Should be doing alright. Only gotta go 4.5 miles, so might as well get a good workout. Break myself in for the coming 4.5 miles of uphill steps and waterfalls and water and dust and dirt. Alright, here's the bridge over the Merced River after Vernal Falls. Vernal Falls right there. Quite a bit of water coming down right now. Going right over that waterfall here. So here we are on the other side of the bridge here I just crossed, down by the water. I had to kind of hike down a steep embankment to get down here, but I had to get some water. The little faucet that's normally up at the top for the day hikers and whatnot. It's out of order. I guess they had a big washout and spraying in the bathrooms, and the water spigot are out of commission, so had to hike down here, get down to this water here. Quite a bit of water coming down the river. This is the Merced River, straight off of Vernal Falls. Right up there behind me is the bridge for all the hikers, day hikers, John Muir Trail people that are just starting out. And it's about a mile in, so I got 1 mile under my belt, about 3.5 more to go for today. And feeling good. It starts out pretty steep, but it's all asphalt trail from here for maybe another mile. Still deciding whether I want to do the official John Muir route up the switchbacks or go up the mist trail, which is all steps. Thinking the mist trail, it's a little more challenging, and should get some pretty good mist this time of the year to cool myself off. Even though I'm going to be regretting it 3.5 miles down the road. It's a lot more challenging than steps. It's like climbing a stair stepper at the gym for about, I don't know, an hour and a half or hour or whatever it is. So I'm gonna see how I do. I got quite a bit of time to get to where I need to go, so hopefully I just don't beat myself up too much for tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be a pretty challenging day too. So once again, here's the little bridge over the river. There's the river. Wouldn't want to fall in that right now. So I'm gonna get some more water and head on up the hill here. So here's the famous John Muir Trail Yosemite torch cut signs. These are like 100 years old, all done by hand with a torch. This is the John Muir route. And then this is the more challenging, yet shorter mist trail. So you can see the sign behind this guy right here. This way I got 1.6 miles in Nevada Falls, the other way I got 2.4. Here we are, going up stairs, cut to the mountain by trail workers.
Here, it's like so.
Being covered in mist right now, it's kind of nice. There's the waterfall. Getting closer, still a long ways to go. You guys are further down the mountain here. Each one of these steps is about an inch or a foot to 10 inches tall. So Pretty awesome how much water is coming down there. Feels like I'm in a misty cold shower. So I'm taking a little break here. Always quite a bit of people coming up the mountain. It's only like a couple miles round trip. It draws quite a bit of guests here. This is the light season. Next month will be even worse. Quite a bit of people going up the mountain today. It's a pretty good flow coming down the mountain. Pretty amazing. We're not even halfway up yet. Alright, I'm at the top of the waterfall now. First waterfall, Vernal Falls. Phone kind of took a dump on me because I guess I overused it. But I got it on my solar panel now, so hopefully it lasts the rest of the day so I can charge all night. But having fun. First waterfall down, get to the top of the next one, which is Nevada Falls, and shortly after camp there. That is called the Liberty Cap. And behind those trees there is the Nevada Fall. Here's another one of those torch cut signs. I can go that way there and do the rest of the mist trail up to the top of Nevada Falls, or I can do the official John Muir route. This is a little more smoother grade. It gives you, I think, a better overlook of the falls. Cross a little bridge over the top. So I'm gonna go that route. Kind of the best of both worlds here. So, see you at the top. Here's the top of the Vernal Falls. I'm just standing where that giant green shirt is. 15 minutes ago. Pretty damn amazing. Okay, here we are at Panoramic Point, another torch cut classic John Muir Trail sign behind us, and got about probably 2 more miles to go for today, and quite a view from here. I'll show you here in a sec. So there's Nevada Fall, Liberty Cap. Way down there is Vernal Fall, and that's where it started, right over there, around that little point there, about a mile past that. So this is where Glacier Point, Vernal Falls Trail, Mist Trail, and the John Muir Trail all kind of meet up. We got about 2 more miles to go. We're gonna end up right up on that bridge up there, about 1.2 miles, where a lot of people died trying to get a perfect picture off the brink of the falls there. Not recommended. Then we got about another half mile to go to camp. Okay, last little bit up the Nevada Fall Trail. Down up that ravine there. Way over there, about a mile past that last curve there where you can't see anymore. Here's a trail fairly covered with water. It's early season. See all this little drips of water coming off the mountain there. Look further up ahead where these people are. You can kind of see a lot of water coming off there where those pylons are. away my electronics or I'm going to get a little shower here. I want to fry them out this early in the trip, especially. Onward. Okay, so I'm walking across this polished granite here at the top of Nevada Falls. There's that little bridge that we saw earlier, about 45 minutes ago. Steel wood bridge over the top of the fall there. It's pretty challenging uphill. I'm glad I took the John Muir from Myrtle Falls. It's a little easier. Avoids little steep switchbacks and still have a chance to get back here in the little drips. Here we are, crossing over Nevada Fall. River over here, and quite a bit of water here. The water stands out the next few days, so don't melt. Got to make some interesting stream crossings and quite a bit of snow. Coming into Little Yosemite Valley here in a little bit, maybe probably less than a mile. And it's just slightly uphill from here, kind of smooth grade, kind of sandy, soft soil, sort of exposed with all these granite slabs and manzanita everywhere. There was a big fire here a couple years ago. I don't know if we're going to hit it today, but definitely tomorrow. So it'll be a lot different than the last time I was here. But instead of taking a break here, I'm just going to push on because it's getting a little late. It's about 4 in the afternoon. I want to get my solar panel here out in the sun and charge it up so I can charge my phone all night and have an alarm for the morning and camera for tomorrow and all that good stuff. Onward, and here we go. So here's some pretty typical John Muir Trail terrain. Got a lot of these granite steps that the trail crews have put in place. Helps with erosion. Definitely was a lot of work, but otherwise this would be a wash instead of a trail, which would be even more challenging to walk through. So this last sign says I got about a mile to go. Thought it was a little less than that, but we'll keep going. No big deal. Pretty flat terrain here. So, thought it was about 4 o'clock. It's actually like 6. So, I'm going to be getting here about an hour or so left of daylight. And I kind of wanted to soak in the creek here. But I'll have to speed that up along so I can get ready for bed. Definitely want to start early tomorrow. Still a little nervous about this food drop thing. So that'll put me in Tuolumne a little earlier in the morning. Around there, about ready to go over the falls. This will smooth out here in a minute. And we'll have some flat land to walk through. Probably see some deer. And then all kinds of people camping up here. It's not really an ideal place to camp, but that's what my permit allows me to do. That's what I was lucky enough to get, so we'll be thankful for that. So here we go. Okay, so here we are, Little Yosemite Valley. So here's another typical John Muir terrain here. Get a lot of this decomposed granite bed, sandy trail. Makes for some tough walking sometimes, especially, you know, your pack's 20 plus, however much weight, more than normal. So all that extra weight pushing down in that sand, it's like walking in the beach above the high tide mark. So it gets challenging and it kind of wears you out, and you get pretty dirty. But here's the beautiful Merced River, nice and calm there before it falls off several hundred feet off Nevada and then again to Vernal Falls. So just up the way here is a little Yosemite Valley camping area where everybody camps out. So you get a lot of JMTers and Half Dome climbers and some of the PCTers that decided to detour into Yosemite if their permit allowed them to do so. So just walking along here, in a couple minutes we'll see some campsites. And every campsite here is an established site, actually has a number and everything, so it's not really a true wilderness experience. Although it's a good place to stop for the first day, take it easy and kind of just get warmed up. Day 2, push myself a little bit harder. Today was 4.5 miles. Tomorrow just over 17. Day 3, closer to 20, 18 or so. And then about day 3 or 4, usually I'm pretty acclimatized and hiking Superman, I guess you can say. You get into the groove and can really pull some good days as long as I'm not freshly resupplied carrying a lot of weight. Could do 20 plus a day. I think my record was about 35 or so. But I was trying to make a ferry, so ferry boat pickup across Florence Lake. So I was pushing it pretty hard. So kind of going through this old growth forest here. It's mostly fir. Looks like white fir, which is probably one of the most common trees on this trail. Just past some Doug fir back there by Nevada Falls. It's probably the only place you'll see it on this trail. And one of the only places in the state. So it's pretty early season here. And if you look here, that is a snowflower. And that's one of the first things that comes up after the snow melts. So this hasn't been bare dirt for very long. That doesn't last very long typically. It's usually gone by July. Snow usually doesn't melt out of this area until maybe mid-June. It's a pretty dry year, so pretty lucky right now. So last couple bits till the camping area, and we'll close this day out.
Good evening. Here we are, a little Yosemite Valley. There's not too many people here, but there's more people than I definitely like. This place can get pretty crowded. I do hear some people yelling and talking loud and stuff, but kind of comes with the territory out here. Mosquitoes are really bad, as expected this time of the year. Snow's just melting, so the little guys are hungry, and I'm becoming a unwilling blood donor to them. So just drank some of that sleepy tea, so getting ready to crash out here in a minute. There's my accommodations for the night. Gonna cowboy camp it. It's fairly warm today, so it should be a good night for that. Can kind of get away with that in these lower elevations. Higher elevations gets a little cold at night. So, see you tomorrow. Well, here we are on top of Sunrise Mountain. It's not really a pass, but it feels like one. This pass always kind of whips me because I'm not quite in my groove yet, and I'm still getting used to the altitude. So it always wins me pretty good. Nice and dry up here. It's 9,800 feet according to my GPS, and starting to see a couple patches of snow here and there. Most of it's in the shade. Haven't seen anything major yet, although the peaks around me, if you can see over there, have quite a bit up there. Typical for this time of the year. Well, I'm going to drop about 300 more feet down to Sunrise Meadow and Sunrise High Sierra Camp. Cross Echo Creek, probably take a lunch break there. Making pretty good progress. Started about 6:15 this morning. It's about 11 right now. Probably done about 7 miles or so. 8 miles maybe. So all uphill, a little bit of downhill right here, then it's flat. And then climb over Cathedral Pass, which isn't much. And then I should be within an hour or two from the lake I'm going to stop at tonight. Okay, this is Sunrise Meadow. As you can see, it's pretty muddy still, so the snow is pretty recently melted. If you look over there in those rocks, that's where Sunrise High Sierra Camp is. People pay a lot of money to get horsed in, and they camp there in cabins, and they got warm water and they get fed, and it's a good time, I guess. Here's one of my favorite lunch stops. This is Echo Creek. I usually stop here. Nice little spot. Get some good water and soak the feet for a while, and change socks and make sure I'm not getting any blisters and all that good stuff. Get a bite to eat. Fair amount of water in this stream right now. It doesn't look like bigger than what I've normally seen, so we'll see how the rest of the stream crossings are. Haven't seen too many people today, which is nice. Usually there's somebody about every 10 minutes. So, nice blue skies. It's been a nice day. It's nice and warm. And probably put in about 13 miles so far. And it's about 1 o'clock. So, need to make about another 4 miles. So, it's probably 2 hours tops to get where I need to go for the day. figure out why my solar panel and phone aren't charging, so hopefully I'll have some extra time to mess around with that. A lot of mosquitoes. Breathe again. So, here we go. So I'm up here on Cathedral Pass. Looks like Donahue, just looking down there in that area. It's gonna be fun. There's a lot of snow up there still, but we'll get there. So the backside of Cathedral Pass drops you down off the side of the mountain into this meadow. It's pretty boggy. So those peaks over there are exfoliating. Kind of looks like an onion peeling. That's Cathedral Peak. We'll be camping tonight just on the other side of that. There's been a lot of snow on this side of the mountain. It's typical of the northern facing slopes. They don't get a lot of sunlight. On we go. Here we are at Cathedral Lake. Here's my accommodations for the night. Gonna try to cowboy camp it again. Might get a little cold here though, so we might have to set the tent. There is just a lot of lingering snow still around at this elevation, which is amazing. There is Cathedral Peak right above us. Should be some nice sunset on that later. Everything's still kind of boggy. This little 360 view. Here's the lake shore. Now this is Upper Cathedral Lake. It's just off the main JMT path. There's a lower lake too, but I've never been to it. Nice little lake. The little tree growing out there in the middle of the water. A lot of granite bowls. A lot of slabs. So here we are at Tuolumne Meadows. That's the north side of it there. This is the last road we'll cross for 200 miles. This is Tioga Highway 120. Goes to Mammoth from the Yosemite Valley. And it's just beautiful out here. It's a great day. Onto the Meadows Grill to get hopefully food and get my resupply. Alright, so I'm sitting here at Tuolumne Meadows. Got a pretty sweet breakfast. Omelet and sausage and bacon and ham and potatoes and biscuit. Orange juice and a couple coffees and feeling good now. They don't have cell service here unfortunately, so I was hoping to get in touch with Emily and track my package.
See if it even got anywhere since it's been stuck in LA for a week now. So I don't know what else to do. I'll probably get the Reds and see if there's some kind of internet service I can get on there. If not, I'm just gonna plan a trip to side trip to Vermilion and resupply and get whatever I can get from them and push on. So it's gonna be interesting. Talked to a few PCTers over here that are coming the opposite direction of where I'm headed, over the same trail. They're just going the other way, and they said it's some pretty gnarly snow crossings and a lot of snow on the passes, and they all recommended before 10 a.m., which is what I've been reading online too. Hit them before 10 a.m. So I'm gonna kind of move my trip around a little bit so I can hit the passes early in the morning, wake up early, get over them before the sun starts thawing that out, start sinking through the snow, and shouldn't be too bad. Otherwise, I said it's all doable, so that's good. I'm just sitting here for the wait for the post office to open. Online it said 9 a.m., but I got here at 8:30, had breakfast, and they still weren't open, and they told me to come back at 10. So it's gonna kind of delay my day a little bit, but Tuolumne's a pretty easy hike, so it should be good. Guess I'll just sit here and wait and move on. Okay, so a couple miles into Tuolumne Meadows. There's the trail there. It's a pretty gentle trail all through here for about 7 miles or so. You follow this beautiful river, just kind of gently flows down the meadow. Really good fishing here, really good water. Makes for some easy hiking until we start climbing later today. So I'm gonna keep moving. Okay, here we are at Tuolumne Meadows still. Just this trail and the river kind of meander up the meadow here until we start climbing, which will be in a couple hours. But that right there is known as the Avalanche Path. I don't know how many years ago, but anyhow, that marker or that feature marks the first legal camping southbound of Tuolumne Meadows. So as long as you're away from water and all the regular backcountry camping rules, you can camp anywhere past that point. So on we go. This nice little spot on the Tuolumne River. It's probably the first spot on the river where it actually starts getting, current gets a little swift here, but that's about it for a while. Little update on the package situation. Talked to the guy over at the Tuolumne Meadows post office when I got my resupply over here, and kind of tracked my package. Really nice guy, he's been here forever, 20-something years, what he's doing. I called the guy down in Yosemite Valley because they don't have internet up here, but the guy over at Yosemite Valley relayed back and said they tracked my package and it's gone from Bakersfield to Los Angeles to Bell Gardens and then went all the way up north to Richmond. And so good news is it's not lost. Bad news is it's still in transit. Might not get to Muir Trail Ranch when I get there, but nice thing is it's not lost, and I think I'm gonna try to track it again when I get to Brett's Meadow if I can, and just stay on course, do the original route, go straight to Muir Trail Ranch. That way I don't have to detour a day to Vermilion and find some place to camp for a day or two to wait for my stuff to get there, depending on what they say when I get there. Good news is I got a couple extra meals that I found abandoned in a bear locker, along with a pretty decent bag of jerky, so Sometimes people are lazy and pigs and they leave trash and crap in the backcountry in those bear lockers, but sometimes they leave a little magic for you. So anyhow, I'm going to take a little rest of my break here and keep moving on. Okay, that's Mount Lyell at the end of Tuolumne Meadows. It's the big one up there with all the snow on it. One with the most amount of snow, I should say. Somewhere over there is Donahue Pass. A lot of snow up there. So tomorrow's gonna be fun. Tonight, you can see where those trees are just below the pass, or Mount Lyell is probably where I'll end up. Okay, here's the bridge over the Lyell Forks. Got about another mile here. I can stop here. There's some nice campsites, but I want to keep going because I want to get as close to the snow line as possible for tomorrow. Get up early, get before it starts melting. Talked to the PCT here. Seen quite a few today. So there's a couple guys camped there already, so let's see if I could go join them. Alright, here we go. About another mile and about 500,000 feet uphill. Okay, here we are at a camp for tonight. It's the headwaters of the Lyell, basically. Lyell Creek. That's Mount Lyell right up there. Got a bunch of snow. I'm gonna have to go around this lake here and cross over right before where that little waterfall is, and then cross back over to this meadow to get to those switchbacks there. Can't even see them. Reason being is because the normal crossing, which is down there, it's pretty treacherous right now, and I really don't want to get my feet wet at 4 in the morning when I start this, 5 in the morning. So gotta beat the 10 a.m. post hole time. So here's our accommodations for the night. Set up the tent. It's super windy here, so I got it tied down pretty good. Normally I leave a little air gap in there, but for condensation, but not tonight. Trying to keep all that wind from turning that thing into a balloon, and I've had that happen before, and the tent goes airborne, and not fun at 2 in the morning when it's freezing cold. So we're right at 10,000 feet here. It'll probably get pretty cold tonight, probably freezing temperatures. So I should wake up to some lovely condensation that's frozen inside the tent and be all wet for tomorrow. So hopefully I'll stop somewhere early to dry everything out. So it's a pretty little area. So just making my tea right now so I can sleep better. My wife gave me some of that sleepy time tea. Works pretty good. Alrighty. Did I say it's cold here? It's cold here. See those tents over there? That is an illegal campsite. You cannot camp on grass, and definitely not that close to it. Be a big fine.
Alright, I'm sitting here in Rush Creek headwaters. It's a beautiful little tarn dotted stream covered area. It's really wet. It's even more wet right now, obviously, because of all the snow. Donahue was pretty rough. About 2 miles of snowfield on either side. Probably 2.5 on the north side. And couldn't see the trail anywhere really. You got to make your own and kind of remember where it was, and I used the GPS a couple times just to make sure I wasn't getting too far off track, because in the snow you got to kind of route differently than the normal trail, because it might be too steep or it might be covered in a stream or whatnot. So had to kind of do a little bit of that. Hiked with the guy from Czech Republic for a while, and we talked, and he was a lot faster than me and probably used to hike in the Swiss Alps or something, so he left me near the top of the pass, which is fine because I was just slowing him down. Met a couple other guys, Andrew and another Andrew, headed same direction as me. One's stopping at Reds tonight, the other one's going to Vermilion. So far I haven't met anybody going the whole John Muir Trail from start to finish, at least going my direction. So really the Donahue wasn't too hard. The worst thing was the frozen rocks in the stream. You know, you look at them, they look like they're normal and they're frozen, so stuck my foot in a couple of streams a few times and didn't really want to do that, but I guess it's just part of life. At least I didn't have to post hole. I hit the pass early enough in the morning that the snow is still frozen, and it's about 10 o'clock right now. I'm done with the snow for now, and headed down to Agnew Meadows, I think, for tonight, and then I'm taking a PCT route instead of the John Muir. Not only avoid more snow, but I've already done that section a few times and kind of sick of the roller coaster up and down portion of it, so doing pretty good. So happy with the progress so far. Still no cell service, but I did figure out how to make my solar panel start charging better, so it's all about that azimuth angle and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna head down to Thousand Island Lake. So I'm sitting here having lunch at Thousand Island Lake. I'm here about an hour later than I wanted to be. I wasn't really expecting a lot of snow up on Island Pass, and it was still pretty plentiful up there, and route finding was tough, and by then the snow was starting to get slushy and it's getting hard to navigate without post holing. So made it through, sitting here eating peanut butter and tortillas, heading down to Agnew. That's about 6 miles from here. Hope to get there before 5.
Here we are, day 5, John Muir Trail. I'm over here near Reds Meadows. Just got off the PCT and I'm taking a little alternate route down Fish Creek to Iva Bell Hot Springs, and then I'm going to reconnect to the JMT over by Silver Pass. As you can see here, this area was devastated by a big fire in 1991. It's called the Rainbow Fire. And as you can see, 30 years later, nearly 30 years later, all these trees are starting to come back. So that's good to see. All these, it's like ponderosas and lodgepole pines. Good stuff. So here's a cool section of the Fish Creek Trail. You're basically walking on this giant granite slab for about a mile, and there's really no traditional trail except this line of rocks, and then you gotta kind of keep your eye out so you don't get off the path. It's pretty neat up here. It's nothing but granite all around. Getting out of Reds Meadow, so there's not a lot of pumice on the ground anymore. It's pretty neat. A little bit farther and then we're gonna cross the river, a few miles. Pretty hot today. It's about 80s. That's the San Joaquin drainage right there below us. The South Fork of the San Joaquin, I believe. I'm not sure. Definitely the San Joaquin. Good evening. Here at Iva Bell Hot Springs. Hiked about 19.5 miles a day from Agnew Meadows to here. Usually there's a shuttle bus that takes you 7 miles from Agnew to Reds, but shuttle bus is down because the road's down. So here I am hiking 19.5 miles to get here. So probably get a late start tomorrow. Take another soak in this natural fed, beautiful hot pool. And nice little campsite. Got a fire ring, things to sit on. Alright, other stuff over here. And right over here, in between those cedar and looks like just cedar trees, there's a little hot pool, and I'm gonna soak in that sucker for a while. 'Cause I stink. It's been like 5 days. So eat dinner here and take a soak. Alright, I just finished my climb up to the backside of Lake of the Lone Indian from the Fish Creek Trail. And I always thought this area was kind of weird. You're in this pine forest, and all of a sudden and you come out to this, which is like a dry lake bed, but never really seems to have any water in it, even when there's snow. And even on a light snow year like this, there's never any water. It's just kind of a weird little saddle behind the lake. looks like at one time there was some water in here, and I don't know if something happened, or it was a long time ago. It's a beautiful little place to camp though. You'd have to bring your own water. Some nice little spots back there. Talk about seclusion. You would never see anybody out here. Very rarely, maybe one hiker a day travels this trail, if that. There was a lot of dead trees that were blocking the trail. It took me forever to get here. Probably over 100 I had to go around or climb over. So, be back on the JMT here in about 20 minutes. So hopefully that one's a little more clear, except I'll have to deal with the snow. Right here is about 10,400 feet, and I've just started to see patches of snow. And this is the north side of the divide here. So hopefully that's a good sign. So it's about 5 o'clock. I'm about 10,500 feet or so. I'm right here at the sign where the JMT intersects with the Goodale Pass Trail, or the Fish Creek Trail where I just came from. And here, once again, is the JMT. About 5 o'clock, I decided to just camp right here. It's right off the side of the trail. It's kind of a Spartan little spot, but I don't think I'd make it over today in time. It's 5 o'clock, got probably about 3 hours of daylight left, and just gonna play it safe. I just had to deal with probably a mile of post holing myself. Coming from Lake of the Lone Indian, there was literally no one has been through there, it appeared. So I had to find the trail without falling in the lake, because the lake was partially frozen and the snow was going out onto the ice, and it was impossible to see where the trail actually was. So I'm play it safe, camp here tonight. They'll put me about 4 or 5 miles behind schedule, so better be safe than stupid. So I just had to eat dinner in my tent because the mosquitoes are so bad. So any ranger would always tell you not to do that, but tonight I really didn't feel like swatting at bugs while I'm trying to feed myself and dance around and do all that stuff. So also talked to a couple PCT hikers that just came by. I came down off the pass. Said they're post holing like knee to thigh deep. It's not really something I wanted to do tonight, and especially show up in camp somewhere 8:30, 9 o'clock, soaking wet. Yeah, no fun. So I think I made a good call by staying here. They did say it's a lot better on the other side though, so that's good. I'm gonna hit it early tomorrow and hopefully make up for some lost time. Regardless, I should still be pretty close to being on schedule. It's a tough day today. It was really hot too, so a lot of the snow is starting to melt really quick. So I'm gonna go to bed early, clean my stuff up here, and hopefully hit the pass early in the morning. Okay, here's the north or the south side of Silver Pass, the infamous waterfall crossing. You gotta cross through that right there. Pretty good flow right now. Usually it's just a rock hop across that little part there. Pretty amazing. So that's the Hill Guard branch of the Bear Creek system. There's Bear Creek, Maine over there. And there's a lot of water coming. This Hill Guard branch is usually just one stream, and right now it's 3, equal to this one. Each one's about just over the knee deep. Wasn't too technical, but the big one's yet to come when we cross the main stream. Reportedly, a lot of the PCTers are having good luck with it, and they've gotten across at the normal crossing, and not too scary according to them. I want to at least get through that today. That way I don't have to start the day tomorrow with wet feet, because today's been nothing but wet crossings all day long. Alright, so here we are at Marie Lake, one of the prettiest Sierra lakes imaginable. This really doesn't show you all of it. You'll see more tomorrow when I get to the top of that pass right over there in the center of the screen. It's an easy pass, be over that in like 30 minutes. There's no snow from what I hear. Here's my campsite for the night. Not quite set up yet, just dumped everything out. Got here really late because I wanted to make up time from yesterday's getting behind, and I was put the pedal to the metal when I got here. I did about 21 miles today. Kind of proud of myself. Hate to say it, but yes I am. Just pushed through and did it. So it's kind of a roller coaster every day. First you climbed up, and then you went way down, and you climbed up again, and you went down, and now we're up here again at 10,000. I want to say 10.8, maybe 11,000. I'm not sure. It's a pretty little place. Pretty much got the place to myself. It's nice here. Saw about 30-40 PCT hikers a day. I think most of the crowd's coming through at this point. Tomorrow I'm going to get up early and go to Muir Trail Ranch, get the rest of my food for the rest of the trip. Hopefully get as close as I can to Muir Pass, because I hear that one is a killer. It's a tough one, like 7 miles of straight solid snow, slushy post hole, some nasty snow. So I'm going to poise myself to get close as I can to that, and then do my best and go over it. Hopefully we have another freezing cold night, that way it hardens it up a little bit. It's been pretty warm lately. So I'm gonna hit the bed, get up early tomorrow. Okay, so I'm standing at the top of Selden Pass. Got a really late start this morning. Woke up at normal time with my alarm and realized it froze last night, and I decided to cowboy camp like an idiot. So everything had a thin layer of frost on it. So I had to thaw everything out and dry it out once the sun came up. Because one thing you don't want to do is smash up anything down, like my sleeping bag, in a compression sack, for it to sit in there in a puddle of water all day. Be a rough night the next night. But anyhow, getting ready to go down this hill here. I'll see another little lake and another couple lakes, and all downhill to Muir Trail Ranch. It's about 6.5 miles from here. So I want to get there as soon as I can, because I got to make some progress towards Muir tomorrow. Muir's going to be hard. Okay, I just entered Kings Canyon National Park. Just got my resupply at Muir Trail Ranch, and my bucket was luckily there. This is Paiute Creek right here. Nice strong steel bridge going over it. Stock worthy. And yeah, it's been a heck of a day. Wish I could have started earlier, but I got a long ways to go still. It's getting late, so I'm gonna go as far as I can. Well, it was a long day. Came a couple miles short of my goal, but it was a lot shorter than I wanted to get because I wanted to get farther than that original goal, just to get a closer shot at Muir the next day. Kind of thing this morning with the cowboy camping and having the sleeping bag freeze set me back a lot, along with stopping at Muir Trail Ranch, and kind of takes a while to repack everything and get all your old stuff thrown away and situated and whatever. And of course, you know, I use the internet to email my wife Emily to just let her know I'm alright and that I love her and everything and that I miss them. I really do. Well, it's been 7 days since I've been gone, so this is where usually homesickness starts setting in. But it's like I have this mental challenge I have to take care of. So I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I think I might just go up to the highest I can get. It's like 7 miles, I don't know what it is, to the snow line, camp there, because I've heard nothing but bad things about Muir anything after 9 in the morning. So I think that might be the best bet. I might just sleep in, get up there early, and find a good camp spot and take a Nero day is what they call it, nearly zero, 0 mileage day, nearly 0 mileage, hiker speak. So I just finished up dinner and getting ready to go to bed here, and mosquitoes are biting, so I better get in. Might not be a bad idea to take a short day tomorrow anyways, just for the safety factor, and my joints are really killing me right now with all that downhill today and really rocky trail, and it's catching up with me. So might just take an easy day and take my time to get up the hill and enjoy the rest of the day, do some laundry, take a bath, all that good stuff. So well, here's Evolution Lake. It's probably one of the most remote, beautifulest places in the whole Sierra. Up there is Muir Pass, behind those third group of mountains there. That's where I'll be later, and I hear that's the funnest, most challenging pass of the year. So we'll see.
Well, I made it. 4.5 mile snowfield. It's probably the longest one I've ever crossed. And it wasn't as bad as they said. Right now I'm in the John Muir hut at the top of Muir Pass. Got this little doorway here. Fireplace, it used to be a fireplace. The antlers have been up there forever. I'm surprised nobody's stolen them. Anyhow, it's a pretty neat little place. The ceiling goes up like a pyramid with a keystone at the very top. Neat place to put your kindling. I don't know what that was there. Maybe a stove or something at one time. It's over 100 years old. It's pretty neat. I got 2 miles of snowfield on the way down. Looking forward to it. Okay, correction. It was 1930 when this was built, so it's not quite 100 years old yet, but close. That right there is why you don't cross snow bridges. Find another one. Fall through that. Might find you when all this thaws out. Maybe. Good evening. I was able to conquer the infamous Muir Pass. Didn't really hold up to, mosquitoes here are terrible. Didn't really hold up to what everybody was saying, how hard it was. It was long, but I didn't think it was that technically difficult. They consider post holing up to your knee. I kind of consider post holing up to my waist, where you have to dig yourself out, and luckily that only happened like twice in 7 miles of solid straight snow. Just kind of got to read the mountain and look at your map and find the best way down. And there was footprints everywhere and people doing stupid stuff, and it wasn't that bad. So I'm right here on schedule, right where I'm supposed to be tonight. Made up yesterday's 2 miles and 3 miles, whatever it was, and now I'm here. So I'm right on schedule. Might slow it down a little bit just so I can space my passes out a little better. I have a few days in there that are like, gosh, mosquitoes, like 20-mile days, and I don't think that's possible. 2 snow-covered passes to do in one day, so I'll probably space that one out a little bit, but I should be able to finish on the day I'm supposed to if that all works out even still, because I put some fluff in my last day. So anyhow, I'm gonna get out of these mosquitoes, and I already got my lovely tent set up, and here's my accommodations for the night. Not a bad little spot. I don't know if you can see that. Got a little fire pit there that I won't use. I never make fires, they're too much of a pain, but I kind of like the hiking more than the camping part of it when I'm backpacking for some reason.
It's all about the physical challenge and see what I can do in one day and all that good stuff. So I already got my tent set up. I'm gonna make some dinner and I get out of these mosquitoes and get the sleeping bag and have a good day tomorrow. I feel good. I feel like I could do more miles today, honestly, but it's getting dark, so time to call it a day. Alrighty. Just finished coming up Mather Pass. It's about a 12,000 foot pass. There's the other side. I'll be going down that little line in the dirt to that basin in the center of the screen next, and climb up over that other pass, that reddish colored mountain, later on today. There's Split Mountain, which is a pretty good climb. Frozen lake back there. You look carefully, those little dots are PCT hikers coming up, going northbound. Trail looks to be pretty snow free on the way down. North side, the way up was pretty tough, really steep. It was actually harder than Muir. Didn't take as long, but it was just challenging. Oh, better get moving. So this is Lake Marjorie, and I'm about ready to cross Pinchot Pass, with this just behind that center of the screen there where that snow patch is, right behind that. So reports say the pass is good. Not a lot of snow, and some good news is that Glen Pass, which is a really tough, steep pass even in the regular season, is mostly clear too, so that's good news. We'll see tomorrow though. Okay, I'm sitting up here on top of Pinchot Pass. A little bit of snow, it wasn't too bad. It's probably one of the best views that's on the JMT in my opinion. There's another PCT guy coming up right now. He's about halfway up. Looks like I got a long downhill ahead of me. That's the part that sucks the most. Downhill is so hard on your joints and feet. I know I sound old, but it hurts. So I need to make up a couple more miles and then I'm gonna camp for the night. That's Woods Creek Falls. This is the Woods Creek Suspension Bridge. Crosses Woods Creek and goes up towards Ray Lakes. It's kind of bouncy. Trying to keep my balance and hold the phone at the same time is kind of hard. Broken right there. Okay, this is Glen Pass. I'm about halfway up it, and about, I'd say, 40 to 30% of the trail is snow covered. The top of the pass is that little low notch right there. You can kind of see a trail of snow leading to it. So I'll have to find the best route. So I'm going to stop here and look at my map and see the best way to attack this, because sometimes these guys' footprints aren't the best idea, as we saw on Muir Pass. Well, here we are, top of Glen Pass. Made it through the snow. Found a couple other more people hiking the PCT and various other non-JMT trails. That was a tough climb. It's probably the toughest, steepest climb yet. So here's the summit blocks. Here we're just under 12,000 feet. It's like 11,975 or something like that. And there's what's to come. Looks like we're in for some rough weather coming up. Possibly. Some clouds coming in. You can never tell with the Sierras. One day it could be sunny and hot. Next day it could be freezing cold. The next day could be raining and thunderstorm, lightning. Get out the tent, huddle down for a while. But gotta make it down the other side. Hopefully get close to Forester as I can tonight.
Alright, it's definitely a long day today. Made it all the way from Upper Woods Creek, crossed over Woods Creek, went through Ray Lakes, saw Glen Pass, which was very challenging with all the snow. Made it down Glen, went to Vedette Meadow, saw a couple bears, mom and her 2 cubs, which was, it's always great to see the wildlife, especially a bear, you know, when you go out to the mountains. You don't always see that when you go for a hike like this, and it's just really it's really like a treat, you know, like when your mom comes home and brings you a candy bar. It's just something unexpected and just something awesome to see. So made it all the way to Center Basin Creek Crossing, which is just at the foot of Forester. Tomorrow I start Forester, which is the highest pass on, well, technically second highest pass on the JMT, but the other one's not technically on the JMT, so you could say it's the highest pass on the JMT and the PCT. And I heard it's a lot of snow up there, and unfortunately yesterday somebody fell off, or slipped on the snow or something, and fell to their death. They were there for a while suffering, and they removed the body today. It was some kind of a male hiker. I saw some signs for somebody missing. I don't know if it was him or not, but word around the campfire is the people that were talking to him said he was running behind, and he was, you know, he probably did something stupid to keep up his pace, and that's always a no-no out here. Don't cut corners. Anytime you cut corners in life, something bad always happens. Maybe not right away. Something bad will always come back to get you, and unfortunately it got him, cost him his life. That right there is Forester Pass. Stop right here at this little creek and have breakfast, and hopefully hit Forester Pass by noon. Well, right now I'm at Tyndall Creek. It's about 4:15, and finally starting to see Mount Whitney on the trail signs, which means we're getting really close.
I don't know if you remember, but in Yosemite it said 220 miles, something like that. Well, just to put it into perspective, it now says 16.1 miles. Probably stop here and do that in a day if I wanted to, but I'm gonna keep going and get a good spot tonight. Okay, that mountain right there, that slope did not have snow on it earlier today. So some of these mountains got a pretty, there's some more right there, a little decent dusting. Not too bad for the summer. And right down there, maybe a little bit. But still some gray clouds in the sky, although there is some blue showing through, so I think it's pretty much done. Might get a couple more sprinkles, but I think the worst of it is over, so I can climb out of the tent and hopefully everything dries out here. There's Mount Whitney. Mount Whitney. Not really a place you want to be in a rainstorm like that, and there's always crazy people up there who refuse to turn back after they climb for 8 hours or whatever it is to get there. So tomorrow I'm going to be heading over that little ridge there, and due to my shoe failure, lost a sole on that one. That one's about ready to fall off, so I'll be skipping the mountaintop. I don't need any more miles on these shoes. They're pretty thin without that piece on there, and be heading over that ridge and down to Whitney Portal. So about 10 miles or so from here. Little birdies are chirping, happy the storms are over.
So they call that Guitar Lake down there for obvious reasons. There's always a whole bunch of people camped out in all this area right here, all up in there. You'll see them tomorrow morning going up Whitney about 4 a.m. with their lights on. I'm gonna sleep in. It's kind of hard to believe that just 2 hours ago we were in the middle of a thunder hailstorm. Now we got bright blue skies. It's just what's so amazing about being out here. You never know. 1 minute could be nice sunny day. Next minute, I've had snow in the middle of August before. Pretty amazing. Sitting on top of Trail Crest Pass, 13,600 feet. Beautiful view. See all the way into the Owens Valley down there. That's where the trip ends. Whitney Portal. I'll get a ride from there and be headed back home. It's a long ways down. About 6,000 feet descent. I can't remember correctly, but I think the trail goes through where that snow is and where people look like they've walked. I hope not, but gotta do what we gotta do to get down. Down there is trail camp, where the day hikers or overnight hikers camp out and then hit the peak early in the morning. Down there is Consultation Lake, and then further down there near the end is Lone Pine Lake. It's about 4 miles from there to the end, so I got a long ways to go. Weather looks sort of clear. There is some clouds building, so I need to get moving. Okay, I'm more than halfway down Whitney. This is Outpost Camp. People camp out for short trips up Whitney and back. And there's a big, nice waterfall right over there. Pretty scenic little spot. Doesn't get you a lot of miles jump start on Whitney the next day. Probably more for people who want to make it a 3-day trip up to Whitney. There's a few people camped here. Not too many. Probably get more later. Nice little spot. I got about 2,000 feet of descending to go. I'm at 10,300 some change feet. And I need to get down to 8,300. So my body's starting to feel the downhill. Uphill's always challenging, but downhill hurts. Well, that down there is the first road I've seen in 2 weeks. It's the road that goes from Lone Pine to Whitney Portal. And about 2 miles down or so. Still a ton of switchbacks to go through. It looks close, but it takes forever. That's the end of the trail down there. 220 something miles. Well, here we are, final few steps of the John Muir Trail. We are now in Whitney Portal. I can see cars in a road again for the first time in a few weeks. This is their little jungle gym entrance thingy. It's kind of interesting looking. Got all kinds of information and maps and hiker safety, whatever. Well, 220 something miles, Yosemite Valley to Whitney Portal, California. There is the marker sign, marks the southern terminus of the JMT and the Mount Whitney Trail. And I'm going to touch pavement for the first time in 2 weeks.